Tara, you had a question. If you could unmute yourself and...
Hey, Jason.
Hi.
Hey. So I know you get this question all the time, and it's how to play faster. So I have two questions. You have a video of Ballydesmond Polka, and there's a piece where you do 4 eighth notes, and you do it so fast that I wonder if you're slurring it. And I played the video and stopped and paused it so many times, and I'm pretty sure you're not slurring. So that's my first question. And my second question is, stop and rock, play it 1,000 times until I can play faster. I mean, these are all the techniques. I think I just need to hear it again, that I do want to play faster one day. I'm not in a rush, but I just want to make sure I'm doing the right things to get me there.
Yeah. First question to you is, how long have you been playing?
Just over a year.
Okay. So I think that a lot of people want to play fast, and it's good to push your tempo, but it's also good not to obsess about it too much. But there's a lot of things we can do to improve the speed, and I could go over that stuff. But I know the part you're talking about, it's this, right? So this is from Ballydesmond Polka. And so, yeah, so working on that, the first things you could do is just kind of really work on the string crossing and so you could actually work on speeding that up. Because that's an important step to speeding up of the phrase. And then once you could practice that on open strings, just the string change, and then you could do it D3 to A, and then do that whole 4-note sequence. Oh, that's actually 1. So if you want to speed up the whole tune, a principle is you speed up the difficult parts first, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Do you practice with the metronome?
No, I actually use your play along tracks as my metronome because I notice they gradually get faster. So that's what I use. Yeah.
So, but if you really want to work on your speed, like I would use a metronome and maybe find something that you like with sounds that you like a lot of the metronome apps you can change out the sound so that sound more like drums if you like, but the metronome is really a key. And here's a surprisingly difficult step, is to just play with a metronome at a normal, the comfortable speed.
Okay.
And so that's the first step to playing fast, I think, is getting your timing rock solid. I want to do lessons on this next year, but and then doing it, pushing both ends of the spectrum. So say you were working on this, you would actually use the metronome. I don't know if you can hear my foot tapping, but slowing it down, keeping it, being able to play at a really steady, slow pace will help you to play faster. It's very difficult to play slow with a metronome. And then slowly speeding up those hard parts. And then you can really do this kind of scientifically. You can take note of your fastest tempo for a particular piece and then for the whole song. So far to sum up, like say you want to speed up a tune, you find the parts where you get snagged on, you speed those up, you determine what the tempo is that you can play those hard parts at, and then you try to do the whole tune at that tempo, and then you incrementally increase. That's the advantage of the metronome versus the play along tracks, is that you can incrementally, like up at like 3 beats per minute. You won't even notice it, but you'll be playing faster. And you slowly every day do that. And then another tip for playing faster is, a lot of times people put a lot of extra energy into playing faster, because I feel it too. There's just like, oh, I gotta put more in to make it go faster, and you really have to do the opposite. You almost have to like relax a little bit more and almost play lazy with it. Do you feel like playing a little bit this part, and maybe I could work with you on it? Sure. All right. Okay, so let's do an even smaller piece. Let's just do, and then start over there. Good. Now, Tara, so right now we have a little loop, but you're putting a pause in between each rep. What I want you to do is slow it down, but make it more continuous and flowing now. So like, and right back into it. Good. And now we're going to slow it down. We'll try to keep a steady tempo. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. And now let's do it a little faster. And try to relax everything a little bit extra. Try that speed. Same loop. How did that feel?
It felt good.
Yeah, it sounded fine. So now we'll push. Let's see if we can find your limit. Let's go a little faster. Good. Faster. All right, so there it is.
There's a limit.
There's the limit. So there's the point where you can kind of do it, but it's starting to fall apart. So you play with that, you take note of that, and then you maybe back it off and end with practicing it a little bit more slowly. Just so you walk away with confidence on it. And then the next day you try to up that by a little bit. And because this is one of the harder parts, that tempo that you can play that hard thing again will determine what you can play for the whole tune. And have you used a metronome before?
I have used a metronome before, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'll do that again.
It's challenging, and if for those of you who've never used a metronome, I recommend not starting with the tune. I recommend starting super simple with a metronome. Like literally, like you have a click going and you just play one note, 1 for 1. And it may sound boring, but that's the way you have to learn. It's like learning to play again when you use a metronome. It's like learning all over again. But it can be really fun and satisfying. Once you get into it, I find it really enjoyable. It doesn't have to be, it's a constraint that can turn into something cool. And then you basically do slightly more complex things with the metronome until you can finally do it with the tune. That's my recommendation. I mean, if you've played other instruments, you probably don't need to go that granular with it. But as a beginning, if this is your first instrument, I really recommend with the metronome, you like treat it as its own skill that you're building from the ground up.
Okay.
So do you have any other questions on speed or playing fast?
No, I don't. And I appreciate you taking that question because I know you get it a lot. So thank you.
Well, you know, it's fine. You're welcome. And the thing is that when I answer it again, then I have to refine the way I think about it. And so I learn to answer the question better. And it also means that maybe that I haven't answered it well enough already if, you know, it keeps coming up. So I always appreciate it. So
sure. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah. Thank you, Tara.
Go to fiddlehead.com for a progressive, step-by-step course outline, color-coded tabs, play-along tracks, sheet music, and much more. Thanks for watching the video. Excellent! And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.